What up, people? It's the I Live for Saturdays podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying this out. Doing it on my phone now. My laptop is broken. I'm in the car commuting, so if you hear some noises, it's just traffic, essentially. Hopefully I don't crash. So let's see how this works out. I've been wanting to talk a lot of things, especially the coaching carousel. I already did a podcast actually with Don V on Don V Fridays, and I'm extremely upset at him we did a GOAT podcast, emergency podcast on what the hell was happening with Tennessee and Fuente and Jimbo Fisher. We broke it down. We did the picks for championship weekend, and for whatever reason it was too long and he couldn't upload it, and I'm really upset at that. So I have no voice now on the internet except the Twitter account, which is doing really well right now. But I decided I needed to get something off my chest, and I needed to do something. Just do something. Get my voice out there and my college football opinions. I'm not going to repeat anything I already said in that last podcast because it's annoying, even though it didn't get an upload. It's just annoying to repeat everything. I am going to break down things that I did miss and I did want to say, and it's still relevant today. I'm going to start off... wow. I'm going to start off with Justin Fuente and in the Florida State situation. And that's honestly all I'm going to talk about. Justin Fuente. So far, it looks like Willie Taggert's going to get the job. It's not official yet, at least not from what I know. It's not 100% official. So Justin Fuente, there's a small possibility he still can be the next head coach at Florida State. And I just want to address Hokie Nation and pretty much everyone involved in this coaching carousel this year. It doesn't matter if a coach says, I haven't talked to anybody. Guys, relax. That's a quote from Fuente. Relax. What does that mean? That is really vague. And Hokie Nation, when they heard relax, that was it. Oh, he ain't going nowhere. Fuente is going nowhere. He loves Virginia Tech. He isn't going to leave for Florida State. Why would he leave to better facilities and more money and better players and better recruiting region? Why would he do that? He loves Virginia Tech. That's why he loves us. He loves the fan base. No, you're idiots. You're all a bunch of idiots who fell for that. And look, even if Fuente doesn't sign, and I guess you can say it's already a built-in excuse for me, but even if Fuente doesn't sign, you will never convince me that Fuente wasn't trying to look for the job, or at least wasn't in negotiations or talks with Florida State about actually getting the job. Not just like, well, if circumstances pop up. No, I'm almost 100% sure he was like, all right, let's see what we can work out with this. If a coach doesn't flat out say, hey, look, my agent, I'm not talking to anybody. Nobody I know is talking to anybody over there. I am 100% committed to the school. I am here for 4 or X amount of years, and that's what I'm going to stay with. Unless a coach says that, don't believe these fucking coaches, okay? That's when you hear vague-ass terms like relax, that's just telling you guys that just calm down. Actually, relax. But pretty much, yeah, I'm not talking to anybody. My agent is. Did Fuente ever say one time that, my agent isn't talking to anybody, or nobody I know I'm in contact with, or a brother or whoever is in contact with Florida State? Not one time. Now, I think because Taggert is almost pretty much in as Florida State's head coach, I think, and Fuente came out pretty strongly in a statement where, like, I'm 100% committed to Virginia Tech, all that stuff. I think now because that developed and Taggert looks like it's going to be the guy, I do believe that, now it is over. But you're never going to convince me that Fuente wasn't at least really, really in talks with Florida State. Just be aware of that kind of stuff, fans. And fans is short for fanatics. Don V always says that. Obviously, that's the truth. I know we're all fans, but at the end of the day, these coaches aren't looking out for fan bases. These coaches don't give a fuck how much you love the coach and love the fan base and how great of a fan base you are. They don't give a fuck about that. What they really care at the end of the day is, how can I better my career and how can I make more money? And the money thing is the main thing. They're looking out for their families. They're not looking out for your family. Just don't forget that. And I love Fuente, and I think he's excellent, and I think he would have been a pretty good signing for Florida State. But at the end of the day, if Fuente got the offer and he was the main guy, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have left. And last thing, Willie Taggert, which is pretty much almost set in stone. He's going to be Florida State's next head coach. And I think, talent-wise, what he is and what he brings, I think that's a good hire. But I said this many times. I've tweeted this. I've asked a question, and people keep ignoring it. But it is really hard, and I'm a coach. I'm speaking from a coach's perspective. In college football, when have we ever seen a coach run 3 programs in 3 years and be successful? When has that ever happened? Has that ever happened? I want to know. I'm really actually asking that question. It's a legitimate question. Has that ever worked? Has that ever been successful? How many times have we actually seen that? And I say that I'm talking from a coach's perspective because I know how exhausting it is to start up a culture, a culture at a brand new program. It's fucking hard, man. I don't mean to swear too much, but it is really hard. I want to put emphasis on that. I swore that because I want to put emphasis on it. It's really, really hard to restart a program and start a new culture. Never mind doing that 3 times in 3 years. That is really hard. That is exhausting. That is mentally exhausting. And him from freaking moving from Florida, Tampa Bay, all the way to Eugene, Oregon, and then all the way back to Tallahassee, that in itself has to be exhausting. So, I like Willie Taggert. I know he's at the Florida Ties. I know he's great recruiter, a really good overall coach, good X's and O's, runs really good programs, really organized. That's great and all. But I just don't see how anybody can run 3 programs in 3 years and be really successful. I just don't see that happening. And I think you're asking a lot out of a human being to do that. And I like Willie Taggert. I like him. And I honestly believe if you give Willie Taggert about 9 years, 8 years, 7 years around that area to really get himself settled at Florida State, really develop his own culture. I know he's already recruited Florida, but redo all the relationships he had with the high school coaches, set up his network the way he wants it to, and really understand how recruiting works in Florida again and redoing it again. I think he needs some time, man. I think he's going to need some time. And I'm going to predict if Willie Taggert is the head coach, Florida State will struggle the first year. They might have success the first year, but they will not be overall a great program in 3 years. I think his second year is almost guaranteed he will struggle. I think his third year is also 100% guaranteed that he will struggle. You come back and call me an idiot. I just don't see any human being being able to do that. Unless Willie Taggert is some freaking coaching messiah, I just don't see that happening. I don't think any human being can. And I like Willie Taggert, and I think, honestly, he should stay at Oregon and build something great there. I think this is a reach for Willie Taggert. From a coaching perspective, I think this is a bad move for himself as a coach. I could easily see him in about 5 or 6 years, if he makes this move, being an assistant coach at Wisconsin, and everyone saying, "Oh, Willie Taggert, excellent defensive coordinator, excellent offensive coordinator, excellent quarterbacks coach. Wow, what a great move. Oh, man, he's done such a great job here. Wisconsin. Yeah, he was fired 3 years ago, but he made up for it by being great. Maybe he should get a job again. And that's honestly what I see for Willie Taggert. I watch a lot of college football. I know a lot about coaching, obviously. I love coaching, and I'm really intrigued at how the coaching world works in pretty much all sports. And that's just what I see at the end of the day for Willie Taggert if he makes this move. And I really hope from the coaching perspective, and if he goes to Florida State, the money and all that stuff is going to change his life even more. I mean, I'm sure his life has already changed being at Oregon, and he signed that ridiculous contract. But I think him being at Oregon, he could really establish himself as one of the great coaches in the game in overall football. Again, like I said, coaching side of it, I think Willie Taggert should stay. I said Tom Herman should stay last year. He's struggling at Texas. I know he's got a good recruiting class, but like I said, man, I just think it's really hard to restart a culture that fast. My overall philosophy and all that, I think a coach should stay bare minimum 4 years at a program. And I honestly think probably the best amount of years you could stay at a program is about 8 years and then move on. Probably 10 years is a little too much. People are impatient like that, and people want to move, and that's fine. But I think about 8 years at a program, and then you can move on, I think is the best thing you could do from a coaching perspective. So that's about it. Follow us on Twitter at I Live for Saturdays 4 is the number 4. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.